Elemental Mastery is good, but only if you know how to use it properly. In this video, we'll be learning how to run an Electro-charge team comp with BRRR as our main DPS. As we have explained before, EM works when you have an aura applicator and a trigger character. Remember that only the trigger character's EM stats are relevant to the Electro-charge reaction. Knowing this is very important because not all characters apply elements at the same rate. The rate of application isn't just how fast a character applies an element. It also has to do with how many reactions it can make in a flurry of attacks. This gap in between successful trigger reactions is called the internal cooldown. In this example, we see Fischl's Oz doing damage on the Anemo hypostasis, but not every attack produces a swirl reaction. In Fischl's case, even if an attack hits, it will only proc swirl every 3 hits. Since the boost to EM in version 1.6 depends on making a reaction, it's important to use a character with a low internal cooldown when going for a full elemental mastery build. The more frequent a character can proc reactions, then the more consistent the Electro-charge damage, making elemental mastery builds worthwhile, especially for those not blessed by crit rate or attack percent RNG. Fischl's not the only one with a long internal cooldown. Same can be said for Child's melee normal attack and Beto's burst. Then you must be wondering, which characters benefit from this EM buff? Well, a few examples are BRRR, Lisa, and Xinqiu. Side tip: to know your character's unique internal cooldown, you can try testing them with the Anemo hypostasis. Remember to count the number of procs in between swirl reactions. Now back to Electro-charge. We'll be showing the wrong and right ways to use BRRR in an Electro-charge reaction team with Beto and Fischl. BRRR is wearing a full elemental mastery build. You don't need to optimize for crit rate or attack stats, and may build her entirely on EM or prioritize support stats like HP. We see BRRR proc Electro-charge for 8,212 and it triggers twice. The good thing about Electro-charge is that it maintains its application even after a reaction. In this wrong version, Electro-charge reaction is applied inconsistently. BRRR is spamming Hydro on Beto's burst but applying it randomly without minding which enemy has the Electro aura. Now in this correct demo, BRRR only applies her Hydro auto attacks on enemies that are affected by Electro. She switches from one enemy to another to make sure the reaction is consistent. For single enemy targets, the strategy is different. We'll have to activate BRRR's E skill first and then switch to Beto. The Water Ring will proc Electro-charge every other touch with the enemy while Beto's ult procs every 3 normal attacks, making BRRR the main trigger despite being off-field. In the first Abyss run, we have Beto and Fischl without any artifacts. This Electro-charge team can still clear 12-1 with a decent remaining time of 6 minutes and 41 seconds. For the second Abyss run, we have them equipped with artifacts, still with their 3-star weapons. This EM BRRR team with properly built electro supports can clear with 8 minutes and 44 seconds remaining. Now Gambit will show a demo on how to run this Electro-charge team with a viridescent Venereer support. The VV4 set effect helps lower resistances of enemies from Electro, which benefits Electro-charge reactions. This is also very important in spreading the Electro element across enemies, allowing DPS BRRR to go BRRR with her EM-based reaction damage.
Life blooms like a flower far away, all by the road, waiting for the one to find a way back home. Rain falls 1,000 times, no footprints have come and go. You once went by, where were we alone? I feel your sigh and breath in the last blow of wind. Not yet for the story on the last page, it's not the end. Life blooms like a flower far away, all by the road, waiting for the one to find a way back home. Time flows across the world, there is always a longer way to go, till I reach your arms, a melody for you. Up against the stream, waterways will join us one, tracing to the source, no straight alas. You will see petals fly, love and becomes carol. Could you please hear my voice that hungers for you? Life blooms like a flower far away, or by the road, waiting for the one to find a way back home. Time flows across the world, there is always a longer way to go, till I reach your arms, a melody for you.
If this content makes sense to you, then please stay tuned for our upcoming videos with the new meta in mind. And if you need more information about Elemental Mastery, then please go see our previous video. Hope you leave us a like and subscribe to our channel if you're feeling generous.